Hello and welcome back, all my Dragon Ball Theorists. I read through the entire arc again after yesterday's chapter of some small clues that were snuck in by Toyotarou on the future plans of Moro. This panel right here, we thought that 7-3 might have met his end and Moro was going to kill him, except he did something really important, revealing just how calculating Moro really is. He tossed 7-3 aside and said, "There will come a time when I require his power once again. Help him recover." Early in this arc, I had some bias, just like many of you, that Moro was shaping up to be a typical Dragon Ball villain who underestimates his opponents and has similar abilities that aren't really that new to us in the Dragon Ball universe, which was a complete mistake on my part, as I now feel that Moro is shaping up to be one of the greatest villains of all time. In my Manga Chapter 57 review yesterday, I hinted at what makes an incredible villain or antagonist. It isn't just raw power or abilities that is what makes them feared. It is the unmatched intellect to always be several steps ahead of our heroes. I made the comparison yesterday to one of my favorite anime characters and best villain in my eyes of all time, Sosuke Aizen from Bleach. While some might say, whoa, where is this coming from? And that is a stretch. Hear me out. I will carefully lay out all the evidence we have seen since this arc started that makes a lot more sense when we reread it from the beginning, that Moro really is way more terrifying than you think because, like Aizen, everything is going according to his plan. Moro isn't a typical Dragon Ball villain at all. He has no known limits to his power. He has millions of years of experience. He has magic, he is nigh immortal, and he is always concealing his true intent, thus making it nearly impossible to see his true desires and how dangerous Moro really is. Sound familiar? Yes, Moro does share a lot of similarities with Aizen, and now for the fans that missed all these clues, let's dive into what Moro is really up to. From the time Moro escaped, it's important to realize just how insanely calculating he really is. In Manga Chapter 44, when on his way to Namek, Moro explains to Cranberry that it was his good fortune to have even an ounce of magic returned to me before my life expired. Cranberry stated, "You got some of your magic back a few years ago, right?" "Indeed," Moro replies, which means that when Moro's magic returned, he wasn't in a hurry to break out of prison. He spent years still in his confinement, making allies and formulating a master plan. The only reason Moro escaped now is it was the perfect time to put everything in motion, which is impressive, especially when we look at just how Moro was confined and for how long. Maris told us that he was sentenced to death. Unfortunately, no one could actually kill him, so he was instead given life imprisonment. Here is Moro's self from Manga Chapter 50 showing his escape from where he was confined to a chair, unable to move, with a head unit likely to restrict his thoughts. If you watch Bleach, we all know the chair that Aizen was sealed to because no one could kill him, but at least he only received an 18,800 year sentence. Moro was stuck here for over 10 million years without anything to sustain his life. Moro was still living off the life energy of the countless souls he devoured before going to prison that gives him his nigh immortality. Something that was explained after Goku was trying to sense where Moro was that first time, and then Moro somehow was able to detect that. How could that be? To think that he could do such a thing. It's going to be hard to pull something over on Moro and formulate a plan against him with capabilities like this, and this was his weakest state. Then Goku stated that it felt like the screams of a whole lot of people in pain. Maris explains that Moro is known for absorbing the life force of planets and turning it into his own power. In that sense, his very energy is a mass of slaughtered souls. While this was a terrifying comment, I didn't pay much attention to it until later after Goku and Vegeta rushed in ill-advised to be defeated by Moro, granting him even more power. It wasn't until Moro powered up a few times that I was able to see deeper into how scary he is. I have seen some fans say Moro is incompetent, that he couldn't gather the Dragon Balls in the 3 days that Goku and Vegeta were unconscious. What the heck was he doing? Well, Moro hasn't evolved yet. I think this is a good way to look at how Moro's power and magic really works. We do see Moro evolve and even transform several times in this arc. After Moro made easy work of Goku and Vegeta restoring the vast amount of his life force, he turns to Cranberry and asks, "Well, how would you go about collecting the Dragon Balls?" He says we need to pinpoint their villages with this scouter as each village is in charge of one. Moro doesn't need a scouter to track life energy, but he can't sense the Dragon Balls directly yet. Later, he gains that ability. After gathering 3 Dragon Balls, we get to one of the most chilling images drawn in the manga as the strongest fighters from every village make the Super Namekian Saburi. With never turning his back, Moro is well aware of what is approaching. Moro easily destroys Saburi with the power he has gained from Goku and Vegeta. Was this your savior by chance? Apologies, he was dead before I could even see his face. I tell you what, it was here that I really started to warm up to Moro as a villain, but the first time around reading this, I didn't realize how Moro continues to evolve after absorbing the life energies of his victims. This entire Namekian village perished without talking, so we have Cranberry being forced to find the Dragon Ball on his own without a way to detect it. Moro, however, has now learned to find them and interrupts Cranberry. There, search that structure. Yup, I found it, Moro. How'd you know it was there though? With a grin from Moro, this isn't just confidence. Cranberry is shocked. Wait, you can detect where the Dragon Balls are? Yes, this is a really important part to understand that after Moro forcefully devoured the souls of these poor Namekians, he gained the ability to detect the Dragon Balls. That is when he really picked up the pace to collect them all. Now, I have speculated on how this works, and I think the details of it are being concealed on purpose for some really important reveal later in the story. I believe that he is able to gain knowledge and memories from the energy he devours, that the billions of souls inside of him have not only increased his power, but his intellect through the information they have. Maris told us that Moro is still an extremely capable fighter even without his magic, which makes sense that if he has the souls of countless fighters and civilizations inside of him, Moro would have the knowledge of a vast amount of techniques, abilities, and vital information he has gathered over millions of years. This point gets reconfirmed in Manga Chapter 49 when Moro is fighting the Grand Supreme Kai. Moro tricks him to fire off an energy blast, absorbing it. Then when the Lord of Lords threatens him with a sealing technique, Moro calls his bluff. Do your worst. We get a flashback of how his sealing technique went to Kid Buu, and those powers were obliterated when Goku killed him. Moro chimes in. Now that I have taken a glimpse at those latent memories, it's clear to me that no being in this universe possesses the power to seal away my magic. This was very easy to miss reading this arc the first time around, but if the energy Moro absorbs grants him the memories of everything you ever did, that would mean when he first absorbed Goku and Vegeta, he has witnessed every battle they ever fought. So at this point, it is uncertain that Moro knows he doesn't possess the sealing power from the energy of the Grand Supreme Kai, or from Goku and Vegeta's memories. It was at that very moment Moro would have gained knowledge of the battle, and only technique that threatened him was now gone, which is why he left them alive, making Moro more terrifying than we imagined, and why I must now do this comparison, stacking him up to other great villains. The fact that I am making this video right now is all according to Aizen's plan. It's no secret that Aizen gets revered as one of the best, if not the best anime villain of all time. That everything that happened or will ever happen is because Aizen set everything in motion. I want to talk about the moment when Aizen went down as one of the all-time great villains, because I firmly believe that Moro is doing something similar. Never in an anime has the main hero ever had all of his battles in his entire life planned out by the main villain. Aizen reveals to Ichigo, "You happen to be the perfect specimen that I've been searching for. Once I was certain of this, I began to take an active role in your growth. Did you think that your victories were the fruit of your own efforts?" Aizen actually planned out every single encounter for Ichigo to help him progress and develop his power. Imagine the main hero of an anime finding out that he was just an experiment since the day he was born of the main villain. Pretty heavy stuff, and why Ichigo lost the will to even fight. It was in this moment we realized beyond Aizen's immense power and insane abilities that any plan you try to formulate against him is a futile effort. It was all going according to his plan. So when Moro walked away from Goku and Vegeta without killing them, was this a horrible mistake on his part? Was this the typical overconfident villain we see in Dragon Ball failing to eliminate his strongest threats? Or are we starting to realize that Moro has incredible plans for Goku and Vegeta? Like Aizen, Moro realizes they are the perfect specimen. Moro has witnessed everything they have done through their latent memories when he absorbed their power, so he is well aware of their potential. Moro, now standing there with his magic returned and his power higher than ever, is aware of everything that is happening. I see, he truly has grown more powerful, that one called Vegeta. Sagambo is shocked. You found him? On that planet Yuzan ventured to, yes, though Yuzan is now dead. Moro couldn't be happier. What a delightful development. He then plans to reach the outermost limits of his power before traveling to Earth, assuming he even is constrained by such limits. Even Moro isn't aware if he has a limit, so for the remaining 2 months leading up to the conflict on Earth, he continues to devour planets. Which brings us to a point of this discussion on just how powerful is Moro really. I want to debunk something I've seen, which is that Moro only is winning because he can absorb their power with his magic, that Moro is only weakening them to a point where he can defeat them and Moro's actual power level isn't that strong. This needs to be thrown completely out the window, as it has been clearly shown multiple times after consuming energy that his power level increases dramatically. His first battle against the Grand Supreme Kai eating an energy blast, then the first time he absorbed energy in the battle against Goku and Vegeta, where they realized how he can increase his power and why Beerus wanted him captured quickly. It is at this point that Goku states to Vegeta, "You probably can't beat him now unless you go blue because of the obvious power increase." Keep in mind that Moro was fighting on par with Super Saiyan God Vegeta before absorbing any energy from them in his weakest state. This guy just got out of being confined to a chair for 10 million years, and his power is on the level of a Super Saiyan God. I know, this was an impressive chair, and we have seen this before with Aizen. Obviously, the headgear and chains was able to somehow prevent his power from being used to break free. Then when Moro drains their powers that first time and transforms, this gave him a significant power increase. You could say now Moro is on the level of Super Saiyan Blue or beyond. But wait, he fought Majin Buu and was getting his butt kicked, so he isn't that strong. Wrong. Goku clearly states Moro's magic doesn't work on Buu, but it also seems like Buu's gotten stronger. Remember, Beerus, who is an angel, is the reason why the Lord of Lords was even awakened inside of Buu, and doing so dramatically increased his powers. The Grand Supreme Kai is using Buu as a vessel, and this unorthodox method of fighting is throwing Moro off. However, you must realize that this likely was all just a diversion and part of Moro's plan, as he isn't really threatened if his magic can't be sealed away. During this fight, Cranberry gathered all the Dragon Balls to summon Porunga. Then Moro telepathically delivers the message to quickly wish for him to regain his full magic power. Again, granting Moro a massive power level boost as Goku screams, "Moro's key!" because his power has now skyrocketed and Moro makes his way with insane speed towards the dragon. If you've been following, you understand that Moro is never completely honest of his true agenda as he kills Cranberry. Originally, Moro told him that he only required one wish, but that wasn't true at all. Moro had a second wish the entire time, one that he planned many years ago before ever breaking out of prison. There was a lot of suspense built up for Moro's final wish, and he already is nigh immortal, so no wish like that would be needed. Now in the second battle against Goku, Vegeta, and the awakened Grand Supreme Kai after Moro absorbs his energy, Goku tells us, "Did you just feel Moro getting even stronger? At this rate, he will be too much for us to handle soon." Reconfirming the scale of Moro's power, Goku believes it soon will be at a level that even his and Vegeta's highest power is no match for, so they look to end this battle fast, except like always, Moro will be one step ahead and reminds them of his final wish. I think we at first were all puzzled by a wish to free the convicts at the galactic prison. I mean, what use will they have? Any great villain has an army of very skilled fighters beneath him that he can move as pawns to accomplish his end goal. This is no different than Aizen going to Hueco Mundo to recruit powerful Espada to take on the Gote 13. Zagabo confirms this with his statement, "You really pulled it off, Lord Moro. It was a plan to free these elite fighters with the Dragon Balls before Moro even escaped from prison. Now when they arrive, they are ready to serve their lord, and as promised, Moro will share his power with them all. Moro's magic isn't just for himself, but he can distribute it to anyone that serves him. It was a losing battle, as we know the planet and all their energy was absorbed again, transforming Moro to essentially his complete state. Moro now has an army that no one can oppose, with abilities that he carefully picked out to fulfill his master plan since day one. Moro is the most intelligent and feared villain to ever grace the Dragon Ball universe in my opinion. Literally everything that we have witnessed this entire arc has all been according to Moro's plan. This is why in the most recent chapter 57, Moro didn't kill 7-3 because there will be a time when he requires his power once again. Moro is the Aizen of Dragon Ball. Every little detail and plot to defeat him, Moro has already seen and thought of. I am somewhat worried that with this level of calculation and abilities that if Moro can even be defeated by Goku and Vegeta, since them gaining new powers was his design, having 7-3 for use later is obviously some intricate part of a story that is yet to be revealed. Maybe Moro has a plan to overthrow the entire god hierarchy, and with each passing chapter, it looks less likely that anyone can stop him. I would like to say in closing that I feel that Moro hasn't shown all his magic or abilities yet, but we have been getting these clues along the way. Moro's actual power level right now is likely well beyond Jiren, Broly, or anything that we have seen. He did just grant Sagabo enough power to transform him to overpower Gohan, Piccolo, 17, and 18. You might think that is crazy, but it is just the reality of it. Moro has absorbed the best energy all throughout the universe. He just doesn't have crazy magic, intellect, and abilities. Moro is by far the most powerful. Hope everyone has enjoyed this video on Moro is more terrifying than you think, and why I compared him to my favorite villain in anime, Lord Aizen. I spent a healthy amount of time to put this together, so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to share it and smash that like button. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Also, please subscribe to support the channel and turn on that notification bell to keep those theories coming.